What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and I'm normally here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Community Kitchen, where we're cooking up the latest and greatest gaming news headlines. And who better to join me on the battlefield today than Aiden? Why don't you say what's up?
Hi everybody, welcome to Game Sandwich, where we are always returning to form here.
We are always doing that. And before we get into today's topic, we'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that are liking these videos, subscribing to Game Sandwich, and if you're new here, do all that and join our community Discord. Links to that is in the video description down below. But we are finally here. It is Battlefield 6 launch day slash weekend. We're in it. We're on the battlefield. And with that comes my favorite thing, reviews coming in for the game. We're going to talk a little bit about that today, what the community has already done in the game, mere hours into this game launching. And, yeah, this bodes well for me because I swiped it up in our Open Critic League, so I knew. I had faith in Battlefield out the gate.
And I didn't choose anything.
Darn. Well, I want to first start by bouncing some numbers around, and then we're going to dive into specific reviews here. As of right now, it sits at an 84% on Open Critic, an 8 out of 10 at GameSpot, a 9 out of 10 at Game Rant, and one we're going to talk about later. Just the campaign from IGN, a 5. Mediocre, putting it that way.
You heard me here. You heard it here, folks. The campaign is mediocre at best.
Mediocre at best. Do we want to start there? Because then multiplayer kind of just is its thing. Because
I mean, multiplayer is always the bread and butter. It's what you go there for. You don't go for the campaign, really. The campaign's just a side effect of the multiplayer experience.
So that's what I want to. We'll start with the campaign because that's like you eat your vegetables first and then you get that good stuff. This is Simon Carty from IGN. At 9 missions in just 5 hours, Battlefield 6's campaign flame doesn't burn for too long, and it doesn't burn particularly bright in that time either. It's a staggering spectacle to behold at some times, and a treat for the ears at others. But when it comes to mission design and engaging plot, it fails to deliver at all. A quick afternoon of fun, it's safe reimagining of what Battlefield once was, but far from a bold reinvention of what it could be, and maybe should be now. So
what you're saying is the campaign didn't return to form.
No returning to form, or it did in some aspects. I think you bring up the good point here of whenever we do get a Battlefield or a Call of Duty, we're not expecting the wheel to be reinvented. We're just expecting something where it's like, you know what? Hey, this apparently 5 hours long, 9 missions, a quick little in and out deal. I think that's all you want from a campaign for a game like this. You're not looking for God of War, Ragnarok levels of narrative or like The Last of Us. Is that wrong to say here, or should the campaign be like something?
I don't know.
That
I'm a
blows your
very
mind?
campaign-focused person, so for me, I prefer a campaign like that's longer. I remember going back and playing like World at War and everything and having a bit of a longer campaign, like for Call of Duty or like Modern Warfare campaigns being a little bit longer. And I wish that they would go back to that, you know? I wish they'd do at least campaigns that were maybe about like 20 hours long or something versus the 5-hour campaigns. I just think that would be a nice, return to form. Say,
There it is. There it is. I'm kind of with you there in the sense that price for Battlefield is what? 70? Is that like the going rate, or is this 80? I assume
I'm pretty sure this one is 70, if I remember correctly.
we are sitting at 69, nice, 99. So yeah, $70.
Yep.
We've talked before at length about price and how it reflects blah blah blah. Been there, done that. For Battlefield, I think what EA and DICE kind of understand here is what they needed to nail and then focus on in the latter part of this game's release is how that multiplayer experience feels, and how that, like we always say, multiplayer is what gives games the legs to last for a long time. And I think from what I've seen of scores, we're sitting around like the high 80s, low 90s. some cases 70s. Like, that is what you would like to see from Battlefield right now, because that is what players are getting into, I imagine, first. Because this isn't like a GTA where it's like, oh, we're going to launch with just the story first so you can digest that, and then GTA Online is the thing you're playing forever. I think Battlefield is doing everything right here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. Really don't on that. Like I said, I wish the campaign was longer. That's my main gripe here, is that I just like a campaign. But I do recognize that multiplayer is where it's at.
Yeah.
That's the bread and butter. That's where people go to have fun. That's what's gonna give the game longevity. A campaign that's like, 20 hours is still gonna be just a campaign that's 20 hours, and people are going to play it and then be done. You want people to stick around. So, really, to see the multiplayer getting such high scores, like in conjunction with the campaign, I mean, I just think that that's good. I mean, I don't think it's the return to form that people wanted, but it it is. I swear I will keep doing that because that's the classic statement that everyone says with these war games.
So now I want to get into some reviews from popular websites to kind of gauge the general interest amongst critics. Gaming Trend gave this a 95 out of 100, and this is, again, directly from them. Battlefield 6 is an iconic and outstanding Battlefield experience, from every step in the campaign to every battle in multiplayer. The game stands tall with the return of the class system, intense vehicular and infantry combat, and a thrilling story. Battlefield 6 is the complete package that fans have been waiting for, and the vision of the future of Battlefield is on beautiful display. So, again, IGN Spectrum versus Gaming Trend, 95 out of 100 compared to a 5. This is, again, echoing the sentiments of, like, gameplay, I think, is what matters most for Battlefield 6, because 2042 launched in the absolute worst state, and then the story there was, as time went on and as they admitted their faults, they made the upgrades to the game, and post, like, what, a year and a half out of the game launching, that is what everyone kind of regards Battlefield 2042 to be, as far as, like, it's a fun game to play now. And them doing this out of the gate to kind of give them the experience and say, this is the future of Battlefield, that is so important to them and so important to the franchise. So, I know you were looking at some community feedback here from Battlefield. Is there any interesting you pulled, or kind of...
I mean, I will say this from the Reddit, I've noticed that there are people talking about like the standard bugs and everything. I'm not like I haven't found anyone actually like sitting there going like, "Oh man, this is my thoughts on the game" or anything, giving their like 2 cents about it. But there are people who are noticing like a fair amount of glitches, but that's to be expected on a day one at this point. I mean, no game releases without bugs at this day and age. It's just bound to happen. But just noticeable though, for if anybody's on the fence here, wondering about like any issues that the game is currently having. Apparently, there is an audio like voice glitch that is affecting people on Xbox for like party chats. There's also some UI glitches and everything, and so that's like affecting like just the user interface in general. But other than that, I mean, everything seems really good.
See, that's what I like to hear, and I'm going to get into some more reviews from Game Informer, The Gamer, and True Gaming, because this is where I feel this is what you want to hear. Most maps are dazzling, and this is from Game Informer. Most maps are dazzling sandboxes just waiting to be leveled. Firearms feel impactful and detachable recoil patterns, and a bevy of demanding progression challenges to keep the grind loop fresh. But like in most hard-fought victories, not every wartime decision yields a winning result. So that was Game Informer. The Gamer says, all of my little issues aside, this is the most excited I've been for a blockbuster shooter in a long, long time. I have had such a good time learning the maps, mastering the weapons, and discovering quirks of Battlefield 6. And I cannot wait to see how live service model rolls out over the next few months. Now, True Gaming is the one I want to end on here, where Battlefield 6 returns after a very long wait with a bombastic multiplayer jam-packed with all the heavy equipment and vehicles at your disposal to wreak havoc on your enemies and utilize all destructible environments to your advantage. The game sees a return of the campaign mode, which turned out to be fun, but certainly not amazing. And that was a 75 out of 100.
Now,
And
see, I would like to revisit this in about a month, whenever Black Ops 7 releases, and like compare the reviews here.
yeah,
You know, like I think we should do this again on November 14th or whatever. Compare Battlefield to Black Ops 7, see which one actually hits home. Because I have a feeling like some of these reviewers, not all of them, but I have a feeling some of these reviewers are going to be the ones who end up reviewing Black Ops 7.
yeah.
And we're gonna see like similar stuff being said.
That is the most interesting thing to me, where it's like, yeah, like we made a video earlier this week talking about Battlefield versus Call of Duty. There's gonna be a point in time where I do feel, and that's just with any shooter, but this is like the rivalry between Battlefield and Call of Duty, where I feel like the gameplay, where I do feel like little things that we don't often think about, like the weapon grind and stuff like that, where that comes into play as far as like who pulls out on top. And for me, from what I've just seen, and I played a little bit of the beta, to say that like I know what for both of them actually, I just feel like Battlefield will get the slight edge here, only for the fact we've been so well fed in the world of Call of Duty, where if that's what they deliver as far as like just a minor step up, instantly people are going to gravitate towards Battlefield 6 because it is a brand new thing. It is a fresh take on the FPS genre. Yeah. And then you add in the Portal stuff, which we're going to get into speaking of Call of Duty. That's where the nitty-gritty starts leaning into the favor of Battlefield 6.
Yeah, that, and also from my experience, a lot of people enjoy more of a like gritty like shooter game, like similar to like the Modern Warfare series. Like they prefer a more gritty shooter game versus like Call of Duty nowadays, which is more of like an arcade shooter.
Yep. And that has been the classic Battlefield thing, where it's like, we've said this before in passing in other videos, you go to Battlefield for the actual wartime sim thing. Like, that is what you go. Like, there's bullet drop, there's like destructible environments, the vehicles, the class system. That's what you go there for. And for Call of Duty, it knows what it is, the arcadey shooter. You're not going to get that in Call of Duty, but at the same time, Call of Duty has refined that experience so much, you're just like, oh, they're doing it right over there. Where it's like, it's the same beast, but different at the same time. And speaking of Call of Duty versus Battlefield, a funny story, and I'm pulling from Insider Gaming and Grant Taylor Hill. Apparently it took a few hours for Call of Duty maps to be remade in Battlefield 6. Of course, we're talking about the Portal mode in Battlefield 6, where it's like the Forge mode, essentially, in a nutshell. And yeah, we're looking at maps like Shipment being available in the game down to like the very smallest detail. And Madavar, I want to make sure I get the user's name right. Does this surprise you? Like they're just like, here a few hours early into Friday morning, we got Call of Duty maps in Battlefield. Is it really all that surprising?
I mean, not really to me. I feel like this is probably somebody who ended up getting early access, because I don't think they would have ended up making this many maps like within only a few hours, but at least not without like prior experience or anything. But I mean, on the list here of like the article you sent, like, oh, never mind. He intends to rebuild them.
Yep.
But he intends to make Nuketown, Zaiba, Metro, Bazaar, Nashar, and Firing Range. I mean, the two most obvious here are Nuketown and Firing Range. I mean, those have been like the fan favorite maps for like a long time, so I think that'll be very interesting to see.
And they make a good point, and this also stems back to what you were talking post Call of Duty release day. it's almost a thing where it's like this could be the nail in the coffin where it's like if Call of Duty Black Ops 7 releases and it's kind of like but players get the experience there, they know the maps, and they're like, oh, but I really like this new map in Black Ops 7. Let's recreate it in Battlefield 6, and suddenly it's like, let's just go to the better game because the map is there and it's created fully. Also, real quick, just completely devoid of the conversation, this Portal thing, like, I'm like really looking at it. This thing is intense. Like, this thing is like, it looks very.
I was looking
in-depth.
at images of it on the Reddit page, and my God, just on the Reddit page, it looks insane.
It looks like Photoshop, like from like UI standard levels.
Yeah.
It looks like just a giant Photoshop thing where it's like your assets are on your left, I assume, and then like everything else on the right. Like, this is definitely gonna give, like what you were saying. Like,
this is gonna take a while to figure out for me.
Well, yeah, because I was about to say you wanted to recreate like Duck Hunt and all that stuff, but
yeah, well, I don't want to like remake actual maps or anything like that. I just want to like create, like, have a backdrop, have something below you, and like up in the sky just have a bunch of like shipping containers that you're like driving around in a big circle on with one person in the middle going, okay, let me shoot rockets and blast it off so that way. And we have Duck Hunt. Yeah.
And you brought up the point in our Battlefield versus Call of Duty video where like map creators are going to be a big thing. Again, you talk about what's going to give this game, Battlefield 6, so much more life, and let's just say they don't drop content, like the actual DLC in the first month. You got this, where the community itself is just gonna regurgitate.
Is making the DLC.
Yeah, and again, when you're going this in-depth with it, I think this is gonna be the thing that you're gonna see the viral clips about Battlefield, where it's like, people are playing the custom games and the funny maps and everything. And
also, can we just point out that I guarantee you, if Activision were to have made this for Call of Duty, they would be charging a premium price quite literally for only the map creators and saying, oh, this is a $70 experience right here, just the map creator, so you can make your own maps. But Battlefield just includes it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's amazing to me.
Well, this is them following that trend that Fortnite did with their creation thing, where they just said, hey, like, if you're a creator in Fortnite, here's the toolkit, go have fun, you could potentially make money off of this. That is, again, we've seen the success that Fortnite has had in that realm, giving creators the whole toolkit, and how Fortnite evolved from Battle Royale to, like, games within games within games, and then creator-driven stuff. This is what I'm seeing with Battlefield 6, and to say that we're sitting here talking about an EA game, let alone Battlefield, the one that has always just been in the dumps, you can't help but get more excited for what could happen here. Again, like I always say, execution is very key, and then you bring in the EA of all this, and you're like, can we trust them to, you know, follow the straight and narrow?
I see them definitely adding like expansions to the map creator, of being like, oh, $5 if you want this content pack for the creator or something. Easily see them doing that. Do I think that's a big deal though? No, I don't. I mean, honestly, I really don't. Like, if I'm paying like $5 and I get like basically like what is like a Sims 4 pack or something of like assets or whatever for the map creator, there you go. That I'm set. You know, I can make tons of content with just that little pack.
Yeah. No. Again, I am very much a proponent of these type of things, like a Forge mode from Halo, being available to the community, because again, communities and people just nowadays, not to sound like a boomer, but like what people are making in games today is astonishing. And it's like, oh, if this is here, imagine what like a GTA 6 next year could possibly be with GTA
If we had access to stuff like this in Halo 3, imagine what more we could have made. I mean, if you've never played it, like if you're younger here or something and you've never played it, go back and play original Halo 3 and actually look at the content, like look at the map creations that people have made for that game.
Yeah.
It is astounding how creative everybody got. And keep in mind, you didn't have the capability of of modern day creators where like, oh, you can place something in the air. Back then, we had to like stack up like 30 blocks and then delete all of the ones below the top one to get it to float in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how we created stuff that was floating.
Yeah.
You get to freely put it there.
And again, like what we were dealing with, the tools we were given back in the day were straight up just, this is the dumpster from Halo 3, build a house out of it. These guys are getting full creative control over like every wall asset, every like piece of paper floating in the wind, every shipping container. This is gonna make some great stuff, and I'm just excited to see what they do here. Like the next level creators, like this Madavar guy, like again, should be available day one. If this stuff is coming out day one, imagine what day 365 is gonna be. Again, great stuff. But
like I said, if anything's gonna like top Call of Duty this year, it's just gonna be that map creator. That's all it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because like people are just gonna go ham with it. They're gonna make custom game modes. I haven't gotten the game. Like, so for anyone who thinks I haven't gotten it yet because I'm waiting for the end of the month because there's other games I want to play. But when I get it, I'm for sure, like, I'm already talking to people about like doing custom game mode, like streams and everything. So if you want to be a part of those, hey, join us.
Mm-hmm.
Join our Discord. You'll know about those. But like, I want to do game modes like doing Mongoose Season, like bringing back like the trash compactor mode from Halo, with like having the capability to shoot things at people and have them dodge it if like that's possible if they have boosters and stuff. Like I want to do stuff like that. I also want to do like game modes like in what you call it, like Grand Theft Auto 5, where like there's like the King of the Hill modes, like where like, oh, people are like climbing up a mountain, but like everything's falling down at them and you have to dodge it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, again, if this is only day one for Battlefield 6, like imagine come Monday. Like what are we gonna have come Monday? Like what type of maps are gonna be there? The clips you're probably gonna
have
see
5 new games.
Exactly. Or you're gonna see the clip of someone like going straight up in a jet and like jumping out and then landing, killing, getting back in the jet. I just remember that clip and I'm like, how do people do this? But this is where we're going to pass it off to you guys. If you're playing Battlefield 6 right now, what do you think about it? Drop a comment down below, and let us know what you think about the custom games and all that fun stuff. But for this episode of Community Kitchen, we hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, if you want more gaming content just like this, drop a like on the video, subscribe to Game Sandwich, and join our community Discord. But as of right now, I've been Kalo, joined by Aiden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.